What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to No Filter Chels. Result today, 2-2 at the bridge. Um, I'm honestly at a loss for words. Um, in this review, we're going to get into the ups and downs of this game, more downs than ups. The disciplinary issue that Chelsea seem to continue to have now. Moises Caicedo is no longer going to be available for the game at Manchester City at the weekend, which is a big blow, a big loss. And this is just another two more drop points at home, and it's starting to get very concerning about our home form, which is generally where we should be getting majority of our points, and then pick up whatever points you can get on the road. And I guess to break it up into parts here, I'm going to be getting into the Bournemouth goals before I even get into like the two Chelsea goals that were scored today from Cole Palmer on a penalty and Enzo Fernandez on a beautiful finish inside of the box. Um, Yeah, but with that, if you like these kind of videos, you like reviews, previews, talk about sports, soccer, anything like that, drop a like, sub, bell notifications, turn those on as well. Um, yeah, and without further ado, we're going to get into this review. So, excuse the dark setting I have in the background. It's just the state of this club right now, just given how dark it is right now, given where we are in the table. Now, if you're looking at the Premier League table, you see us fifth generally. You know, if you're a team that's striving to be in the Champions League, being fifth isn't the worst thing because you're not too far away from getting into the Champions League spots. But the form that we've had, honestly, this season, particularly in this month of December, which I'm glad is going to be over with now, um, it's almost like a what the fuck kind of month are we having every single time we enter the Christmas period. Um, to go over the first goal for Bournemouth here, it was another long throw that for some reason this season we are having a very difficult time defending the long throw in. And on both goals today, they were both scored on long throws. And the first goal was just a scramble in the box. Sanchez makes a fantastic save to keep the ball out, but it comes off of David Brooks, who just taps it in off of off a deflection off of him, off the save from Sanchez that took it back off of him and let it into the goal where he was able to poke it in. And for me, I just don't understand how we're not able to defend these long throws the way that if we were defending a corner, it's literally the same thing except you're throwing the ball in. You're not kicking it from the corner flag. And for the life of me, I just don't understand why we struggle so much on these long throws. And it's generally the balls are being flicked on from us. Like the second goal that Justin Kluivert scored, a flick from Chalobah that he reacted first. Garnacho fell asleep at the back post, which is another issue we have is back post defending. It doesn't have to be from a long throw. It's like any kind of ball that's put into the box, our back post is always open, which means the opposite fullback is usually sleeping or they're not paying attention. And it allows players to run in late, crash the box late. And that's how the second goal was made for Bournemouth, a long throw in from Semenyo, I believe, which could be his last game for Bournemouth. And for some reason, Garnacho falls asleep at the back post, a flick from Chalobah, which is the right thing to do. Go win the first ball. And the job is to win the second ball as well. And Garnacho doesn't do that. He falls asleep back post, just like the first goal. Malaguso doesn't track David Brooks and allows him to get the deflected save from Sanchez, score the first goal and the second goal. Now to get into our goals that we scored today, the first goal, Esteval, which is what I want from my wingers, direct, unpredictable, and just not giving a fuck, right? Not caring about what the result is. You're driving down the field, you're getting into the box, you're forcing Semenyo, and you're forcing the Bournemouth defense to make a decision on whether or not they need to challenge him in the box. And plenty of times today, Esteval was getting by his defender and putting brilliant cutbacks balls across the face of goal, and nobody was there to tap it in. Nobody was there to sacrifice their body for the betterment of the team to get that goal. And Esteval today could have had 2 or 3 assists if players were just on par with what he was doing. And he draws the pen. They go to VAR. They see what happened. Cole Palmer steps up, slots it into that bottom left hand corner. Petrovic almost makes a great save on it, but because Cole Palmer is a great penalty taker, generally he's going to find the back of the net from 12 yards out. Then we go to the Enzo, the Fernandez goal, a little scramble in the box, a nice little pass back to him, brilliant finish into that top right hand corner. I'm thinking at 2-1, all we really need to do is go get that third goal and contain Bournemouth, because outside of the two goals they scored today, they had a lot more shot opportunities than us and a lot more shots on target, but they weren't clinical enough in front of goal to really snatch all 3 points. And they had a chance at the end of the game with Unal almost putting it in that top corner. And if that would have went in, you would have started seeing fans, in my opinion, start to storm the pitch, because when you're tied 2-2, and I understand taking off Cole Palmer, but at some point the man has to play 90 minutes. Now, he's not going to be as demonstrative or as reactionary as he was in the game against Aston Villa, but for the most part, he's still not himself. He's still not figuring it out where to find the half spaces and turn and drive in to do the space that is being left in behind in their midfield, which is why I was asking for Palmer to play off the right today so he can cut inside and interchange with Esteval. We saw glimpses of that, but not anything to where it was really having something to tear the defense apart. Esteval was the only player on the pitch today that was direct, had imagination, and wanted to win the game. I'm not saying these players don't want to win, but the form they are showing is telling us that they're only up for the big games. They're only up for the big teams, whether they go to another team stadium, a big team stadium, or they come to the Abridge, and for some reason that's when this team wants to turn on. That's when this team wants to get stuck in. That's when this team wants to be more direct and more influential in dictating the pace of the game. And we saw another example today of when this team concedes goals, heads drop, confidence is low, and Enzo Maresca doesn't have a way to get this team out of it. And again, we're going to have to start questioning Enzo Maresca's game management, game selection. Didn't have an issue with the lineup per se. In my preview yesterday, I mentioned that Cucurella would be starting on the left. I'll admit I didn't watch the press conference because I was at work and I didn't really see all the team news leading into the game. But not having Cucurella in there, it shows how important he is, because Malo Gusto is good. He's nice, but he's not a left fullback. And for me, too many times today, when Bournemouth were going down via wings, our fullbacks were having, until Reece James came on, our fullbacks were having a tough time containing the wings, because Bournemouth were getting crosses into the box at will, at will. And it surprised me that a few times they didn't get on the end of these crosses and actually put more goals past us. I'm surprised we walked out of here with the point. We could have walked out of there with nothing. We could have walked out of there with all 3 points if we were more clinical in the box and actually took more chances outside of the box, having shot opportunities, getting on the end of these Esteval crosses. That he was the man of the match today. And it's not the worst thing, but it's also not a good thing that we have to rely on an 18-year-old wonder kid, an 18-year-old star boy, to be the most influential player on the pitch when you have players like Palmer on the pitch, when you have players like Garnacho on the pitch, and you have players like Enzo on the pitch. Later on, João Pedro, he comes on. Pedro Neto, he comes on. You have players of quality that are on the pitch and are supposed to make something happen, and it's just not happening. And Esteval is the only player when he's on the pitch. I mean, it shocked me that he got pulled in the 91st minute. You might as well just play in the entire game. Jamie Gittins isn't gonna replicate what Esteval did, even on the left hand side. Even though he's more productive on the right, on the left hand side today, he showed us what he can do. He's two-footed, he's direct, he has imagination, and he wants to win. He had a moment in the game where the Bournemouth right back, Jimenez, I believe, won the ball off of him for a goal kick, but Estevao was like, "You can't stop me, bro. It does not matter what you do. You can stop me 2 or 3 times, but majority of the second half and for the entirety of the game, he was giving the fullbacks fits. This is why he needs to be starting consistently, not play 90 minutes and then you play him 30 minutes against Man City. No, Estevao needs to start against Man City with Palmer, with Neto on the left-hand side, or if you want to put Estevao on the left and put Neto on the right, I don't mind that. Estevao needs to be in this starting 11 no matter what, because he is our outlet on the wings. He brings players out. It allows space in behind. And too many times today, he beat the first man, beat the second man, puts the ball in the box. Nobody's there to finish the job. Um, you know, going into the game on Sunday, they needed these 3 points. Now we're fifth with 30 points. Manchester United, I believe, if I were to go over to my phone real quick, pull this up real quick, tied 1-1 with Wolves right now in the 94th minute. We need them to drop points. Needs Sunderland also to drop points as well. And it's like I can't believe I'm saying this about Man United and Sunderland, man. Like we should not be anywhere near these two teams right now. But the state of the club and how we've been playing and the form we've been playing in and the hesitancy that we have on the pitch right now, we deserve to be in fifth. We do not deserve to be anywhere near the top four. And right now, we're at risk of being mid-table because of the consistent drop points we have at home, dropping points when we have the lead, and just not being ruthless enough. Yeah, we drew 2-2 against Newcastle, but the first half was dreadful. Dreadful. The second half, much better performance, and it showed the quality we have when we actually want to go out there and try to get the 3 points. And we were unlucky not to walk out of St. James's Park with 3 points. We did not deserve to win this game whatsoever. And it's getting to the point now where is Enzo Maresca seriously under pressure to get this team back in the top four? I believe now there is a multi a massive amount of pressure on him to get these results turned. Maybe Man City is a game where they can look past because we're not expected to win that game. But would it surprise me if we show up for that game against Man City without Moises Caicedo? Which again, I'm gonna say this about that early yellow card. There is no way in hell 5 minutes into the game that is a yellow card. Let the game breathe. Let's see what the challenges are really like in the game before you start dishing out yellow cards to a midfielder that is known for his physicality, sometimes his recklessness, but his importance on the pitch is huge. And to not have him in the midfield against a Manchester City whose midfield is possession dominant, you need somebody like a Caicedo in that game to break up play, start the counterattack, which is what we're going to be on for majority of the game on Sunday. I'll get to my preview for that on Saturday, but this team needs to figure it out, man. You're going on 8 wins, 6 draws, and 5 losses. Last year, this team had 9 losses and 9 draws and 20 wins, right? There's no reason why this team should not be in the top four. There's no reason why this team shouldn't be above a Liverpool, above an Aston Villa, right? There's no reason why this team shouldn't be anywhere near there's no reason why this team should not be near them. But we play down to the competition. We wait to go down in games, or we take the lead in games and we concede, and then we concede the one after that, and then we end up losing games. It's ridiculous. It's sad. And in January now, this team has to go into the transfer market to get reinforcements because there is just players in this current squad that should not be seeing the field anymore. And I hate to continue talking about him, but Jamie Gittins had 2 minutes. Bro, it's 2-2, and you're over here trying to beat your man. Get the ball in the box. You got 5, 6 players waiting for you in the box. Why are you trying to beat your defender? Just put it in the box. You never know what's gonna happen, right? Like, and I just saw something pop up on my computer from Eunice Talks Football, one of my favorite YouTubers. It's a failure right now. This season right now is a failure. Forget what they did in October and November in the early part of the season. Forget all that goes out the window now. They need to figure it out quick because there are teams coming up behind them that are striving to be in Europe, not just Europe, the Champions League. The title race is over. I was talking about how it's a closer 8 points than it is a more distant 8 points. Now it's just looking like we're going to be 15 points behind Arsenal going into the new year. And there's no chance in hell that we're making up 5 games on these cats, even on Man City, even on Aston Villa, who got absolutely annihilated today by Arsenal, 4-1. The game just finished. I'm seeing it on my phone right now, 4-1. We were up 1-0 against these guys at the bridge, dominating Aston Villa. When Arsenal came to the bridge, we dominated them with 10 men, and we were outplaying them with 11. Why is it that we are continuously dropping points, losing games? It's because this team doesn't have enough experience in the squad, and this is why the January transfer market, they need to go into the transfer market and get some experience heads. I don't want to hear about the summertime and they have plans. No, you need to go find somebody now, whether it's in midfield, whether it's at center back, or whether you go into the market honestly and find a center forward that is willing to come to Chelsea and actually put the ball in the back of the net because Liam Delap and João Pedro are not going to be the guys going forward at the center forward spot. João Pedro has to play that because Liam Delap is inconsistent for one, and two, he's more worried about getting stuck in and making reckless challenges than actually trying to find the back of the net. He had a few opportunities today, but it's like as my number 9, I need you to be more ruthless in front of goal and more shameless in front of goal. Be more selfish in front of goal. Take shots. If you're in the box and you roll your defender into the box, fire it across goal. You never know what's going to happen. And there's too many times this season rather, I've seen us take the ball into the box and we don't fire it across goal. We don't shoot it from inside the box. We did today with Enzo Fernandez, but why can't we do that more often? Palmer had a chance, I believe, in the first half where he receives the ball, beats his defender, and instead of firing it at goal, he's trying to clip it back post. It's like, my man, my cold brother, you're too you have too much quality in that left foot of yours to not be trying to shoot that. Garnacho had the same thing. He had a ball fed into him, and instead of taking 2 touches and shooting, he took 2, 3 touches and tried to cut it back. It's like, take the shot. This is why I always yell at my TV, shoot, 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 because you never know where that ball is going to actually end up if you take an opportunity. It can come off a defender, it can hit your other player if they're in an onside position, take a wicked deflection off the goalkeeper, something. You never know. And this is why I keep imploring my team here, be selfish when you have the ball outside the box. If your teammates get pissed, your teammates get pissed. But the idea of being direct and taking shots on goal is something that this team needs to do. And they're not doing it consistently. So, with that being said, man, I mean, the buildup on attack in the second half was nice. In the first half, yes, we got the 2 goals, but the buildup, the patterns of play, the closing down of certain spaces, and the amount of opportunities Bournemouth had in the first 10 minutes of the game is outrageous, especially at home. And you can hear the fans in the stands, man, getting restless, getting disgruntled, booing the players at some point because it's like we cannot continue to play like this and expect to win major honors and expect to go deep in the Champions League if we're going to sit here and play like this. Because better teams than Bournemouth would absolutely tear us apart if we're going to continue playing like this. If you're playing a Real Madrid in the Champions League, if you're playing Man City in the league, if you're playing Arsenal at the Emirates, if you're playing, I don't know, for this season, if you're playing Aston Villa, right? Like These teams like that are going to find a way to capitalize on your mistakes. And we got fortunate that Bournemouth aren't in the best form, but they were playing like they had won 3, 4 games on the bounce in the first half. In the second half, they sagged off. They they soaked in more pressure because they were content with for playing for a point. Because a point at the bridge for Bournemouth is a better point for us at the bridge. We needed to win today to at least jump Liverpool or be level on points with them. Now Liverpool have an opportunity here to go 5 points clear of us, and now we're fighting to get into the Champions League. Hopefully, fifth spot can get us in the Champions League, but we shouldn't have to rely on English teams doing well in European competition for us to get in the Champions League. Last year, we got top four. Not we were top five, but we got fourth, which is generally the minimum to get into the Champions League is being fourth in the league. Now it's looking like we're going to be fighting to even get into the Europa League. So I don't know, man. Next game is Man City away. You know, Man City will absolutely be up for it. I'm expecting a very similar lineup to that game. No Moises Caicedo. We'll see if Cucurella will be back for that game, but I'm generally expecting the same lineup in that game. I'll go more in depth about it on Saturday, but not a good result at the bridge. Again, more drop points at home. Got 3 losses at home, dropping stupid points to teams we should be beating. But with that being said, man, this is No Filter Chels. I'm Jason. Not the happiest right now, but I mean, we push forward on to Sunday. We see what this squad can do against one of the title challengers. But I'm not expecting too much against Man City. We haven't gone there and won since Thomas Tuchel in 2021. So I'm not looking for a massive result here. If we somehow grab a point at Man City, like I'll be cool with that. But this team is looking very, very, very shaky right now. And the January transfer market, Enzo Maresca needs to make some type of demands to the board. Like, you guys want Champions League? You guys want us to win some damn silverware? We need some help here, man. We need some experienced heads in here because this young team is the youngest team in the league for a reason, and their position in the table, their point total, and the amount of games they've won and drawn and lost this season shows you how inexperienced this team is in a 38 game season and in a league table format. So yeah, with that being said, no filter Chels. I'm Jason. Drop a like, comments, get engaged in the comment section down below. Bell notifications, turn those on. I'm gonna try to be more consistent with these uploads. But yeah, man. I mean, a 2-2 result at the bridge. Got to pick up form, boys, because this isn't good enough. It just isn't. And for people that aren't going to the games that live in the United States, that live in other parts of the world, and that are watching these games, you guys need to do a lot better, not just for the match going fans, for the people who are paying to go to these games, but the people that are viewing this stuff on TV and that are 5, 6, 7,000 miles away. Pick up the form. It's getting ridiculous. You know, it's starting to really mess with me, and it's messing with a lot of people that rely on Chelsea Football Club for 2 to 2.5 hours out of their day once or twice a week. Figure it out. Pick it up. Enzo Maresca, get your demands out there. You need to get what you need because I don't want to see this man go. But again, it's No Filter Chels. I'm Jason. Peace out. I love y'all. Thank you for being patient with me. I'm going to be more consistent going forward. I love you guys. Peace out.